I believe the Hanselmann's decision to launch a menu of traditional German food at Schnitzelbank marked the beginning of the reemergence of a culture that had been stifled for over 2 generations. The success of the menu change at Schnitzelbank helped set off a chain of events that would transform Jasper into a community that is now defined by its German heritage.
Dave Buehler had a lot to do with it too. The people that had the Buehler's here, he was a big pusher of German heritage.
He was also president of the Jasper Action Team, which is a derivative of Jasper Chamber of Commerce.
In about 1974, Jasper was in a funk, absolute funk. So myself and a few other guys formed what we called an action team. And we met weekly about what we could do. And we had this list of things that was our charge, so to speak. And one of them was to preserve our German heritage. Preserve our German heritage.
He was visiting Germany, he and his daughter, wife and daughters at the time, and came across a Strassenfest.
I stumbled across a Strassenfest in Lucerne, Switzerland. This was about 76, okay. I brought the pictures and I brought that back to the action team, okay. And I said, this is what we need to do. So what we did was we formed another part of the chamber, which was the Strassenfest committee, see. So that's how we got it organized.
And the first Strassenfest was hastily organized, you know, and it was very evident it was going to be successful. And then the idea surfaced that perhaps we should have something more than just a one-time event, and something as a catalyst to keep it going all year long. And the idea of the German Club came up, and that's when I really became involved. We had some initial meetings in town to see what the interest was, and we seen a lot of interest.
We actually formed the German Club in, I think it was 1980.
I was, I guess, appointed as the first president, and I still remember before we had the membership, or the club totally tied down legally, and before I had our first election, we already had 350 members before our first event, and it's been 400 to 500 ever since.
And then we decided a couple years later to start the sister city relationship. And that's how the progression, the Strassenfest, the German Club, the Deutcher Verein, and then the sister city, all within about 4 or 5 years, okay.
Oh, they hired a humanist in residence, Sabine Jordan. And she suggested at the time that if you want to really solidify the culture, you really need to have some connection with something in Germany. And we got the idea then of the sister city, and started searching for one.
We actually took a German club trip to Germany where we visited 3 towns making a a sister city partnership decision. And one of them was Pfaffenweiler, okay? So we went there thinking about 2 other towns besides Pfaffenweiler, because we didn't truly understand. At that point in time, I had no clue that 3 sides of my family were from Pfaffenweiler.
It blows my mind how it's developed and sustained. Sustained is the key word, because now you've got many families, friendship families, that type of thing, that lots and lots of.
Well, the names are all the same.
Yeah, the names are the same, you know.
We're really excited to have all of you out joining us this evening to celebrate the 30th anniversary of our Sister Cities partnership. We're really fortunate to have many guests here with us from Pfaffenweiler, Germany this evening. So if you see them, they're all wearing their green shirts. So welcome them to Jasper and enjoy the fest weekend with them. To start our ceremonies this evening, we are going to have the Pfaffenweiler Community Band lead us in the German National Anthem.
In 1847, 85 residents of Pfaffenweiler headed to America on a 52-day trip. the ship was Tallahassee. Many of these immigrants ended up in Jasper and began a new life on land which reminded them of the rolling wooded hills of their homeland in southwest Germany. Through research in the early 1980s and a desire of the Jasper citizens to connect with their past, it was determined that Pfaffenweiler would be the ideal sister city. In 1985, 41 Pfaffenweiler citizens came to Jasper for the official signing of the Sister Cities document.
With delight, I present the dearest greetings from all citizens of Pfaffenweiler to you this evening. In representation of 2,500 citizens, over 30 Pfaffenweiler have come to Jasper to celebrate with you the Strassenfest, but for most, the 30th anniversary of the partnership between Jasper and Pfaffenweiler.
It's now more than just a sister city, it's a cultural exchange.
We can say today, now we have 30 years partnership, and it is a partnership what is no one is like that in the whole world, I'm sure.
Jasper Sister Cities program was recently recognized as best in nation for a city of our size.
Pfaffenweiler has an annual celebration called the Strassenfest. As part of the Pfaffenweiler Strassenfest opening ceremonies, the mayor traditionally lights a lantern. In honor of our relationship with Pfaffenweiler, we will light the Sister City lantern, blending our German roots and American way of life.